Welcome to the LANCave, where we're living as nerds. I'm
The delay.
joined by Owen.
The delay, not only in how long we haven't been live, but in the intro to the intro.
Womp womp. You can tell it's a little rusty, but we apologize for that. We've been away for a bit, busy with life, busy playing some D&D, different things that things happen, good things, professional things, life things. But we're back giving you gaming news, video game, like entertainment, nerdy stuff, because we're nerds and we talk about nerdy stuff. And I hope you like that, because if you do, you probably should hang out with us. How you been, man?
You know, I cannot complain. Like you said, you've been busy. You've probably been a little bit busier than I am, but I've been pretty busy too. Work's just been trying to expand my horizons at work and in the personal life in relation to career stuff as well. Got back to the studying this week of taking some classes again. I started doing a little Spanish on busted out the Duolingo, just trying to keep my mind active, and then been having my little hobby as well to bring it back to the podcast. And I have another one. It cleared U.S. Customs today, so hopefully it's here within a week or two. But just the handheld life. The handheld life. It's so good. I'm gonna hold this up to the camera because I really like this new front end.
Yeah.
That I have.
Oh yeah.
Just the consoles on the CRTV. Mm-hmm. It's pretty dope. Oh, there's the pretty PSP.
That's cool.
This is a new front end I found for Android-based handhelds. This one is a Linux-based handheld. Oh, I've honestly been playing it more this week because I never beat Final Fantasy IV. Never beat a lot of Final Fantasies, but 4 in particular was on my mind recently, and I can play this one-handed.
That's
so amazing. I can since it's all turn-based and stuff. You just move around. You're in a fight, and you're just sitting there on the couch and just hitting A, and the screen is dope. So I have another tiny one coming, and I'm going to see if I like it more or less than this one in terms of the hand feel. This one's made by a company called Anbernic, and the other one I'm getting is called a Miu. I'll definitely show that off whenever I get it. And then I've been looking into more, because this is where I kind of want to exist now. I love my consoles, and I've been streaming my consoles a lot. I've been playing like Odin Sphere. I played through the Modern Warfare campaign on this guy, the Retroid Pocket 3. I played the Modern Warfare 2 campaign, like half of it, using this thing and not just on my big TV.
Because I got to write that in my notes.
This one's the Retroid Pocket 3.
Retroid Pocket, yeah.
Yeah. And they're actually coming out with a 3 Plus right now. The pre-orders are up.
I heard. I thought that was the Retroid Pocket 3. I'm gonna look at the Plus because, as I'd messaged you earlier, I've been using my phone with my Razer Kishi backbone. Yeah. If you're an iPhone player, I've been playing a good amount on here. There are certain games that I like. I don't mind playing, I should say, on handheld, and there's certain experiences I still want the full screen, but it's just so convenient. I was messaging you. I'm like, I think I need a dedicated device for it, because I've had a few times where I'm on it playing a game and I'm like, I want to look up something, or I'm getting a call, I'm getting a text message, and I'd like to be able to put the handheld down and use the phone instead of let me swipe, turn the thing sideways. It's giant because it has it's cumbersome, and now I'm like maybe I need to live that life of convenience and get a dedicated streaming handheld.
Yeah, this one was $120. Mm-hmm. And for what it can do, it can go all the way. It can stream. It can stream all the way to Dreamcast. PS2, not so much.
Okay.
Handles PlayStation just fine. The Plus that's coming out, the Retroid Pocket 3 Plus, that they just opened pre-orders for this week. I think it's 150 instead of 120, but according to the guy I follow, and I don't mind plugging him if anybody's interested, but it's a site called Retro Great Gaming Core. I've been watching a ton of his videos, but I went ahead and asked him, I'm like, so $30 difference, what can this one do? And he says it can play probably a decent amount of the PS2 library and a decent amount of the GameCube library. With tweaks, and so that means you got to go in and play with some settings, decide like what kind of like things you're following. So I'm not going to upgrade to that because I'm fine. I wouldn't mind being able to play Wind Waker on handheld again, but I'm going to wait for something else. I've been looking at the Steam Deck. So Steam Deck is a strong maybe. There's a company called AYN. I just say Ion because I think it makes more sense, but they already have one called the Ion Odin, and that's an Android-based machine.
Okay.
That a lot of people use, but they're making a Windows-based one called Ion Loki. And with the Windows-based machines, a lot of times people are flashing SteamOS onto those as well. And so that's also a very tempting prospect. The long and the short of it is that I'm now addicted. I could probably find myself with a couple more of these without really thinking about it because I don't know, it's just fun. Like, it's fun for me to go in and tinker, even if I'm just following people's guides. It's not that I'm like doing a lot of this myself or coming up with a lot of things. But it's fun to see which experience I like, to have it for different reasons. This thing, I took it to I went and had a beer by myself, just I got off work early one day. Wife was busy. I took this. I went and got a beer. I played a little Super Mario, just chilling, drinking a beer, like very pocketable thing. This I use on Sundays. I get up with my son. He watches his TV. I log into my PlayStation or my Xbox and I start playing whatever. I've been playing Own Sphere that way a lot recently. So I think it's where I want to be. I want everything to be handheld. So I'm looking at the Steam Deck. I want to know where they're at on streaming PlayStation and Xbox. That's the only kind of play where it's like, do I have to fidget with that too much? Because that is nice about the Android-based ones, is that Xbox and PlayStation both have apps. Although the third-party app for PlayStation is way better. PS Play, it's $5, so much better than the PS app.
I've been using that I started using it when I first got the PlayStation 5, specifically because the PlayStation app at the time didn't support controller. I don't remember if it does now, but I remember at the time it was like it didn't support controller. It was like it was not worth it. It was $5 to have that full on controller support, and by that I mean for the Razer Kishi and everything. So I'm just looking at the Ion Loki. It looks like it says from $297 to $350.
I'm waiting for the 297 one to pre-order because it's not up yet.
When you get into that range, that's where I'm like, I would rather have the Steam Deck, but like you mentioned, if you're using it specifically for streaming, I don't know how the Steam Deck is for that. I'd have to do some research. I'm sure you have.
It's not out yet. That's the problem, and so I would be curious about flashing SteamOS, because that's the great thing about SteamOS is that they allow you to put it on anything, and that's what Steam. Honestly, we can really thank Valve for this. Like, the handheld market was starting and it was kicking off, and I think that part of that happened because of the pandemic. But the Steam Deck really was like, oh snap, like, here we go. And I know the Switch, actually we could probably thank the Switch too. Okay, so we'll start with the Switch. Nintendo, you get your credit, your flowers. You really did start that revolution, but Steam Deck more started like that open source revolution, the revolution that we wanted them to start whenever they were doing the Steam Box and failed that miserably, right? But now we're in this place, like this brand, the Anbernix, they're releasing new ones like nobody's business. This Retroid Pocket 3, the Retroid Pocket 3 literally came out a few months ago and they're already pre-ordering for the Plus. And so tiny iterations are coming, and so I'm probably waiting for that Loki to come out because I want somebody to compare the Loki to the Steam Deck. I really want the right experience.
Yeah.
But the newest thing about the Steam Deck, where I am totally tempted to just throw down right now, is just where it's at in emulation. It can play everything. And now there's a software that I told Robert about where it does a lot of it for you and is now updating OTA. So it's in a really good place, on top of which you can start buying Steam games for cheap and playing PC games. Like, that's where I want to be. So that's where I want my next high-end device to probably be, like, either a Windows or one that I can flash SteamOS onto, because now let's start getting into all these PC games I never did. Not that I don't have like 1,000 games in my backlog anyway, but
I was gonna say,
why not? I want the world to be my oyster, Patrick.
I was gonna say, I did find, by the way, as I was just Googling real quick, you can play stream PS5 onto your Steam Deck. There's a third-party app, a Steam app, that you essentially load, and it works similar to the PS5 app, and it is free. So it's not like you have to pay an additional $5 or whatever. And if it worked, I'd be tempted to do that anyways. No, it's funny you mentioned backlog though, because I'm sitting here playing Bloodborne. I've got new games, but I've been playing Bloodborne the past couple weeks. I did play an hour and a half
at 30 frames.
At 30 frames, but I've been playing the Old Hunters because I never played the Old Hunters. I got it.
The DLC, right?
Yep. So I got that, like, I want to say I got it. I know I got it after I finished the game. I finished the game and I was like, cool. I got the ending that I wanted or whatever. And then Old Hunters came out and I ended up getting it and never went to play it. Even when I'd start playing the game, I wouldn't go into Old Hunters. You have to get to a certain part in the game, so before you can jump into the content. And it's 30 frames, but it's still good. It runs great. Yeah, it's 30 frames, but it still runs so good for 30 frames.
I didn't know Japan Studio worked on the game. That's interesting. Poor Japan Studio.
Right?
Rip.
Yeah, but it's I love the game. I've been back playing that, and I did I should say 2 hours ago, booted up God of War Ragnarok, and the wife's actually playing it right now. We played about an hour and a half, kind of trading off.
Does it have separate saves?
No. Like, I mean, like, I started playing, and then she's like, "Give me the controller," and then I gave her. It doesn't have separate saves that I may, unless it. Maybe I haven't seen, but no, we were trading off, as in I started the game and then she took over for a bit, and then I played a little bit, mostly her, because I don't mind watching this kind of stuff.
Sure.
It's good. I'm only, like I said, an hour and a half in. It's good. Definitely hit the feels like the first one did. So just know that it's hack and slashy and everything, but there's some feels in there. Voice acting's great. The textures are great. I did have a couple little, I'd say, glitches with some fabric in the costumes.
Which mode are you playing?
I'm playing. Oh, you mean the difficulty, or you mean performance? Performance.
Yeah, there's like 6 different options.
I only saw the performance one. Oh, there's the performance, and then I'll have to double check.
Like, this game can run, apparently, I think it can run 120 frames if your TV supports it.
My TV does. It said favor performance versus there were a couple tweaks, but that was the main one when it came to gameplay, and then it was difficulty. You know what? Right now it's going through my receiver, so I may switch that up because my receiver can't pass 120. Which is why I need a new receiver.
You gotta go play. That's why you didn't get the options. I was like, you have a hot TV. Like, why are you not?
Yeah, I think two options. Yeah.
If I remember right, you can do, like, I think it's 1440 120, but it could be 1080 120. But like, I'm going to be doing performance, whatever it is, whatever option it gives me. I need my frames. I'm good
at 60. I will say I'll try it at 120, but I will say I've played 4K 4K 60 and 4K 120, and they're both very good. But it was not the wow from 30 to 60. There's a wow. The 60 to 20 is diminishing returns. It's good, but it's diminishing returns. So if I
do wish that I could play Call of Duty at 120, just Twitch shooter online. That would be dope.
Yeah, but I do mean, like, a game like this. If it's going to sacrifice resolution and I'll go down to 1080, And for 120, no,
Yeah.
60's fine. I've liked it. Like I said, the performance has been good. I'll try it out going straight into the TV. When I get the new receiver, then I won't have to worry about that. Which that and the Steam Deck are on my my list of, if I officially get the job that I have applied for and have been working towards, then I'm going to reward myself with that. Because it's like, it's not a purchase that, I mean, I can justify it, but it's harder to justify when my receiver is pretty good.
Yeah.
How is Call of Duty, by the way?
I really enjoyed the campaign. I saw it got rated like 6s and 7s. I think that, I know that people like to crap on Call of Duty, but I feel like that's very underrated for the campaign. I had a great time. The thing about first person shooters is like, where's the like how much does it vary?
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, it varies quite a bit. There's like several different level modes where you get to do different things. There's one where you're in like a gunship in the air. There's one where you're on the, like, doing a road chase and you're jumping from vehicle to vehicle, and it's dope. There's one where you like are like walking down a building, like on like a, you know, on a ripcord, like walking sideways, like doing stuff, like a lot of different variation. And so I had, and it's also not easy. I was playing on normal and I still died quite a bit. I liked it. The online, it honestly is not, I mean, I'm gonna go back to it in probably a week or two when they launch season 1, because for those who play online, traditionally Call of Duty has like a hardcore mode, and in hardcore mode they take away your map, you have less health, and they have a very limited HUD, so it's just, you know, cleaner, and then like, and it's like one shot one kill type thing, two shot one, you know, to kill, whereas like the normal mode that most people play is more arcadey. Lots more bullets, you can see everything all the time, and they didn't launch with that mode. And I play a hardcore mode. That's how I do it. I lose a lot of fights because like I'm good at like getting that first shot, but I'm not good at tracking you and staying with you. So like I depend on being able to kill you the first time.
When did they come out with that? Because I mean, I'll admit I haven't played Call of Duty in quite a while. When did they come out with that mode?
I don't know, to be honest with you, because I got back in during Cold War, and Cold War had it, and Vanguard had it, but this one is launching season 1, which is next week. Also, the new Warzone, which is the Battle Royale, comes out next week, and DMZ, which is, I haven't seen the videos on it, but it was supposed to be kind of like Escape from Tarkov, if people have heard of that. And that's not my style of game. I might check out the new Warzone because I want to see if they're still using a bunch of trees. Like, is it possible for my colorblindness to play in? But that's generally why I play normal multiplayer, because of map variation, and it works with the colors that I can see a lot better, and it's just quick. So we'll see. So I wasn't as impressed with how the multiplayer was, but it's a game that is going to last me 2 years, just like the last COD did, unless they do something crazy next year. But so I'll gradually, I go on little stints of multiplayer where I play it for like 2-3 weeks straight, and then I just don't touch it for a couple months, and then come back. It just depends on what you're in the mood for, but it's fun. It's good. Solid.
It's good. It may go on my list. My list for I haven't signed up for Deku deals. I need to do that. But
dude,
because I've been doing it, like, you know, just on a basically a Google basically a Google Calendar thing. Yeah, exactly. Recurring invite that I'll just adjust. It's like, hey, go check for deals. Gotta use Deku deals, because then can it SMS, can it text you as well, or is it only email when it alerts you?
It emails. It doesn't email, but here's where I was selling people on it today. So not only is it like, so it's called Deku deals. It was originally Nintendo, but it's expanded since then to Xbox and PlayStation. So this isn't for you PC people. Sorry, nerds. You can do that. Is there a deal I think is the website.
Is there a deal? Or just, you got Humble Bundle. Don't even complain.
Yeah. And so
Steam sales. Yeah.
So first of all, you can like pick a game. You can tell it what console you want. So if it's a multi-platform thing, and you're like, this is a Switch game, so you can just target which one you want, or you can do it across all three. If you're saying I'm digital only now, you can make it where it'll only notify you for the digital sales if you don't care. Or if you're a physical person and you only want physical, you can have it notify you only for that. And then you get to tell it what you have too. So you can say, hey, I'm a Game Pass Ultimate subscriber. Hey, I'm a PlayStation Plus Extra or Premium subscriber. And it will also tell you that. So if you're like, oh, this game's on sale, but you can go look at Decker deals really fast and just it'll show you right there. So I don't even look at sales on the actual storefronts anymore. I look at sales on the Decker deals, because then I'm like, oh, it's $5. Oh, it's on Game Pass. Well, I'm not going to buy that. Which especially now that I get Game Pass for free, it's getting so hard to buy games. So the coolest part, it's already been pretty cool so far, but you can set it to where you can set it to any significant deal. You can set it to a percentage. So like, I want half off. I want 75% off. You can have it do lowest deal ever, or like lowest price ever. So that's where it'll only notify you if it reaches a new low.
Okay.
On there, which I just did with Beyond Good and Evil. I got that on 360, aka Series X back compat. You know, I know everybody's been excited for 2 forever, and it's never ever coming out, but I never played the first one, and so I was like, I want lowest price ever. This game's like 10 years old. Got it for $2, and
that's not bad.
Waited. Yeah. I mean, it was only like 10 to begin with, but I'm like, I'm not paying full price. I need the deal. And so that's the best part for me, is being able to pick. Because there's some stuff where I'm like, I don't care if I get this physically, and then there's some stuff where I'm just like, no, I just need this digital. Like I have Outriders, even though Outriders is on Game Pass. For some reason, I just want to play a Square Enix game on PlayStation. It's just a sickness that I have. So I'm like, I want Outriders, but that's an MMO. I can't play that with the disc, so that needs to be digital, and I want it for $15 or cheaper. It got down to 19, and I was like, nope, can't do it. I need $15.
You and I already do that mentally, where we're like, nope, not doing it until later. Black Friday deals are coming up, and that's where like my brain is like, all right, let me look at the list. What's actually happening? Deku Deals is going to help me on that. I mean, would obviously be a help on that, and I'm
I would sign up for him now, dude.
Yeah, I just signed up for it. This game is the one that I will say, call me a glutton for punishment or what have you.
I was about to say, dude, you better not pay more than $30 for this game.
I'm not gonna pay more than $30 for it. It is on sale for Target's buy 2 get 1 free, which is a good deal. This is a new game, so usually the newer games don't show up on there, but this one is, I think, the only new-ish game that I saw on there when I was glancing through it. But it made me...
And FIFA, I think, maybe, or I don't know.
Oh, it's FIFA? Yeah, I think FIFA may be on there, whereas...
and Modern Warfare, too. I mean, if that's a buy 2 get 1, that's a pretty good deal.
Oh, that's not bad. So... The only reason that I paused is because I want to play this co-op with Whitney, and you can't do couch co-op unless I missed that. So you have to.
You're gonna buy 2 copies and get one of something else for free?
No. See, I'm not gonna do that. If it was $30, even then I'd be like, no. But if I get it, if I buy it digitally on Xbox, I can essentially log in on. I'd have to make the Xbox Series S her console. I have to make that my console, my primary, and then I would log into mine, and then she would log into hers on her account, and it would both work because that's my primary console playing the game while I'm logged in on the other one. It should work with one copy of the game. So it's not on sale digitally, but that's how I would do it, because I did, for those who didn't catch, I did buy the wife a Xbox Series S for her office, and it's a great console for the ease of use, for not needing extreme graphics. It runs okay, and it can run the 30 frames of this game, because again, really frustrating. This game is only 30 frames per second. I'm willing to bet that they'll have a patch at some point to improve that.
that's where again it's like that thing of, and again, I know that God of War is being made by the people who make the console, and so you have to take it with a grain of salt, but also just like how long this game took to make, you could just tell like there's a caliber of video game maker. That's where you can truly see like not everybody can make video games well, and I'm not trying to bash on this game. I've heard some people that I like watching videos from, they're like, this is fun. It's not good, but it is fun.
Yeah.
And that's where like that, everybody has that line. If you're interested in this kind of thing, there are people who like looters that that's just their thing. I'm looking at some of the stuff on here. You can get Elden Ring, you can get Modern Warfare 2, you can get the new Persona 5 port on Switch, you can get there's a lot here.
Okay, I guess I missed in the when I pulled it up originally,
and it's live right now.
Yeah, the display for it, I will say, when I was navigating it, was more clunky than I'd like. But
yes,
for target,
I hate things where they limit how much you can view. Like, why can I only view like 50 items? Let me just do a scroll forever.
Well, switch to a list view. I don't need to see the pictures. Just show me I'm fine with that. But yeah, also just keep scrolling. There's one of the YouTubers that I watch who I didn't even realize I've been watching for so long. It's Nightwing on YouTube, and he played like all of the Arkham games with his wife, like basically like giving commentary with him, and it's adorable, and I love him. And he was playing it even he's his name is Nightwing, his YouTube channel, so obviously he's a big Batman fan and Nightwing fan. And
so he likes Marvel.
Yeah. But he's sitting there and you can hear it in his voice that he's having fun as a fan, but it's not.
He's hurting inside.
Yeah, it's not as good as Arkham Knight, and Arkham Knight came out 10 years ago. I want to say, yeah, and Arkham Knight I was playing earlier this year, and Arkham Knight's still really good. This game does not play as good as Arkham Knight. I know we can argue about Arkham City versus Arkham Knight, and I love OG Arkham Asylum because of the story. I bought the HD remake, remaster, whatever, of 1 and 2 to get to again at some point. I haven't played them since the 360 days. Yeah.
And I remember Batman's a little clunky in Asylum, but Asylum's just good story, going through it. That was the coolest part. The city's good too, but you never imagine Batman going through the asylum and actually having to face all these people and how they have the asylum set up for these true super powered people.
Yeah,
it's pretty. That's what I love.
Very creative. I liked the like we said, I like the plot for that. And I'm trying to remember, is it spoilers? Which one did he die in? Was it Arkham Asylum or Arkham City? Joker.
Who? Oh, City.
City. Okay. Yeah, because yeah, that's right. The
spoilers for a forever old game, because
so I'm it's an old game.
Night's about Jason, isn't it?
Night is about Jason. Well, the thing that I was trying to remember was the twist. Because Night's about Jason, the twist, the Clayface twist. Yeah, that. I was trying to remember which game that was in.
It's been too long for me, man.
It's been a bit. Yeah,
we're talking about the dude who only plays games once, and
that's true.
And that was
forever
ago.
Yeah, but that was a cool twist. What I was gonna say again, spoilers for an older game, but the twist where you're you're like Joker's dead. Who is this? And it's Clayface. That twist was really cool, because it's well done, because you're doing the scan, and you see bones in everybody else, but you don't see Joker's bones because he's Clayface. But even I didn't put that together. I was like, is it a ghost? I don't know what it is, but. They were good
Paper,
games.
Snow, a ghost.
Oh, that's good. I love Joey. Man,
I watched that clip again recently of just like him on Pyramid.
Hit on Pyramid, yeah. That is a classic. That's a classic. Whitney's rewatching because it's on rotation on her. It was one of her rotation shows, and she was watching the Russ episode came on the other day. And it's just classic. You don't like the what was the element, like they were like arguing over the something on a crossword for an element.
Dysprosium and mendelevium.
Mendelevium, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I knew you'd know that.
You could try, but you would not be successful.
It's a card sharp, not a card shark. Oh, it's so good.
No, you let me finish.
Ross is and watching it. Yeah, we watch it. We're like, all right, Ross can be a very toxic person. Ross is also very much on the spectrum. So even when he has no idea that he's doing something out of line until someone points it out, and then he'll defend it because he doesn't understand. But yeah, he is very toxic.
Schwimmer is just probably the most underrated person on that show. To be honest, I think his physical acting ability was better than, or it was the best on the show, not really necessarily, but just the way that he was able to change his pitches of his voice, the things that he's able to do, where like just the way he could move his body. Like I think he was, as we're supposed to not necessarily like Ross, but Schwimmer was a legend.
He was able to make it where you're like, oh, I like this person, even though they're, he created likability to someone who is also pretty toxic and guy and does some pretty bad things. When you mentioned the physical comedy, I immediately thought of the clip when when Phoebe and Rachel are trying to distract him in the apartment, and they get giddy, and that little jump that they do before they hug. I'm like, that's just. It's so
where he like jumps, like hit that leg kick that he does.
Yeah, because it's his between. Yeah, there's so many good moments, but yeah, I agree. I mean, Joey's great. Chandler gets a lot of. Yeah. I mean, Matthew Perry's like timing and everything for his characters, of course.
I just bought his book.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Whitney just picked that up too.
Yeah, I haven't got to start it yet. And by having got to start it, I'm just doing other things. It takes me a lot to read a book these days. I have to really sit down and be like, I'm not going to play a video game. I'm going to read a book. Because I just like video games. It's just the way that I like experiencing stories more. Yeah. And I know that you threw some other stuff on here about just speaking of like watching and reading and playing video games. I haven't watched today's Andor yet. That's what I'm going to do immediately after this before I stay up late playing God of War. Do you think that maybe Andor's a little too dark at some points for Star Wars?
I'm behind. I've heard that. I've only watched the first 2 episodes.
Oh no, okay. Then never mind. You let me know whenever we get there. There's just some moments where I'm just like, I know that everybody wants dark Star Wars, and like I even heard this on a podcast very recently, where it was somebody who was behind on Andor and hadn't started it yet, and it was like, I'm ready for some gritty Star Wars. I'm like, why? Like I think that there is some room for it, and then there's a room where it's like, no, like just stop. Like, just there's that Key and Peele. There's the line, and you crossed. Oh, or you just crossed.
Yeah. There's it's like how.
Or was that Mad TV? Was it Mad TV or was it?
I think maybe Mad TV.
Mad TV.
Yeah.
Coach, whatever his name was.
Yeah, I think there's a line though where it's like, I want gritty. Okay, how gritty do you want though? Like, you don't need to be, and I'd say the same thing with like a lot of the DC movies. Like, do you really need to go that dark? Do you need to go that in some cases maybe, and in some cases for Star Wars maybe it's okay where it is. I think Boba Fett.
Did you see Black Adam?
I didn't yet. Okay. I want to see it, but I haven't seen it yet.
HBO Max, baby.
I gotta wait 12 more days or whatever it is. It's on my calendar because it's 45 days after, if I'm not mistaken. And same thing with like Black Panther. I may not get to see this. May be the first Marvel movie I don't see opening weekend, where normally I'm seeing them like at least on the opening weekend. Try to go opening like the first day. I'm gonna miss that for Wakanda Forever. Need to see it, and I really wish it was on streaming, because now I'm in the position where I can't see it as early as I want. But if I could stream it, I would pay $20. Like back when we did Black Widow, I'll throw down $20 for like a 24-hour rental. Like I will do that. But I'll have to wait for that. Black Adam, though, I've heard is entertaining, but the best part is it's The Rock. I mean, that's why I want to go see it. He's a very entertaining guy. And
well, he got like the highest audience score on Rotten Tomatoes for a DC movie.
Yeah.
I think, or like a recent DC movie, maybe, but
yeah, it doesn't surprise me. I'm curious if it was better than The Batman, because that's kind of separate from the other DCU movies. And speaking of that, James Gunn is now running the show over there. I'm not going to go into the Elon thing. I was going to make a joke about like he's going to run it and he actually knows what he's doing, but as opposed to Elon. But James Gunn is going to be the chairperson handling essentially creative. His co-chair is Peter Safran, who was a producer for the Conjuring movies and has done some other work with DC, and is also, I believe, he's producing the next Aquaman movie. These are two talented individuals, and James Gunn has been tweeting about how he's listening to fans. He's like, I'm not going to be as active as I normally am, but I'm listening to you, and he's promising I should have grabbed the quote. It's something to the effect of the biggest story event over movies, and TV and animation, and. To me, that means that I think we're going to get something similar to what Marvel has been doing, which is you've got the main movies going on, and then you have some animation and TV stuff that backs it up, so you can tell the story in different ways. And Gunn's a smart guy, so he'll know. You keep the main story items in the movies, and then everything else just enhances it and will help build things up. I'm really excited for DC in this case, though, because Gunn, I mean, I know a lot of it's like comedic, but he has a really good way of packaging characters and getting you to understand and like characters like Peacemaker and Guardians of the Galaxy. Those are properties that the comic book fan, when they announced Guardians of the Galaxy, I was like, I don't know if this is going to be Marvel's first loss. Like, I said that. I was like, this is going to be Marvel's first movie that bombs. And I was wrong. That was Eternals, I think. Complete bomb. But I didn't think they'd be able to pull off Guardians of the Galaxy. James Gunn did it. And Peacemaker also. Which I'd say also the cast of Peacemaker is amazing. So I had to throw the clip in here.
The clip.
Yeah.
I got about halfway through Peacemaker, and then it's solid. I don't know. Yeah. It wasn't doing it for me.
Yeah.
It's more just like and I get why a lot of people like it, but there's a point to where it was like slightly, I don't know, for some reason it's too violent.
Yeah,
it's just too much. Like, there's just only so many times where you're like, all right. And I get that that's the show and that's what it's supposed to be, and so I respect it, type of thing. But I also, I do really appreciate that, like, finally somebody made a role like that John Cena could do, because John Cena's a cool dude. He's a terrible actor, but he's a really nice person. He's a good person, a good dude, a guy that you like want to succeed. And so the fact that there was finally like a role that's like perfect for him was nice to see. And he did pull it off. He was very good.
Yeah, I will say, what's the other movie? Was it Stepsisters or something? the Amy Poehler and Tina Fey movie? There's a movie that he was in that like he was like the only good part of.
Oh, really?
But yeah, I thought it was the Stepsisters, but I may be wrong. But it was because he was kind of almost being a joke, like a joke version of himself. But I think he may have been a drug dealer. But like he wasn't having to stretch in his personality, but his comedic timing was there. Like so, you know, it was like he wasn't having to act. He was getting to, you know, he was still being himself, but it was getting that charm and comedic timing, kind of like Chris Hemsworth kind of hit that sweet spot with Thor. You know, he wasn't bad in the first Thor movie. The second Thor movie was bad, but Chris wasn't bad in it. But like they hadn't gotten that comedic aspect of it, and yeah, I felt like that and Peacemaker hit it for Cena. So yeah, good on him for that. But when it comes to Marvel, dude, have you seen the Quantumania trailer?
No.
So the Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania trailer came out like 2 weeks ago. And I'm not going to say the things that I think are going on in it. So if you're listening or if you don't want to like be spoiled or anything, I have some ideas. But not spoilers because it's in the trailer. This is the first time we're going to see Kang since the end of Loki. Because we did get to see Kang in the very end of Loki, and some people didn't realize how big of a deal it was. This is going to be the first time we get to see him actually as a villain. Because I'd argue that you only got a little taste in Loki, and Kang is going to be our next Thanos level threat, which I'm pretty happy about.
Yeah,
I love Kang. So
yeah, I'll be honest. I don't know. It's not like the thing with Thanos and stuff that kind of ends my big bad knowledge, like or big bad,
sure.
like galactic level bad.
Yeah.
Knowledge. There's you know a little bit with Galactus because you know I watched the Silver Surfer as a kid and stuff, but so I don't know enough about him to say whether he's going to be a favorite or not. I'm excited that they're finally like getting it going. It feels like they've been in limbo for quite some time. We even with Thor 4, like Thor 4 was solid. I did enjoy Thor 4. Part of that because I love Natalie Portman, but I did enjoy what was going on there. But everything has just felt like this intermission, and so it's nice to finally get that moving. But I knew that the trailer came out, and it's kind of one of those things where it's not that I'm consuming too much because I'm still watching every show that's coming out on Disney Plus, loving it. Like there hasn't been one where I've like, this is absolutely terrible. I did skip Moon Knight. Oh, there we go. I am lying. I did skip Moon Knight because I just really wasn't feeling it. So I'm going to watch it, and because who doesn't love the beautiful Paul Rudd? But I'm kind of not contented out, but like knowing what's going on out.
Sure.
Like I just want the movie to show up. I know it's going to be solid, and then I'm going to watch it and then kind of go on from there, if that makes sense. So like, the trailer came out. It's not like Star Wars where like I have to see the trailer. I'm now to the point with the Marvel universe where I'm just like, all right, cool. I'm glad to see more in it.
Yeah, there's a lot, and I will say I liked Moon Knight. It was not. I wish it could have been better, but I thought it was good. I loved Loki, and I loved it even before Kang shows up, because he calls himself He Who Remains, which the cool thing to me is that's like the end of his timeline is what we got to see. And now we're seeing either before or we're seeing a branch outside of it. But long story short, this is Nathaniel Richards, Reed Richards' great exponentially grandson, or descendant, if you will, in like 1,000 years into the future, who, as you heard him explain in Loki, but he has a connection to the Fantastic Four because he is a distant relative of Reed Richards. I'm super stoked because it's Fantastic Four, but also we're going to see Jonathan Majors here as Kang. I think we're going to see him as different versions of Kang. This may be the main version, but because you have the multiverse and you have very different versions of Kang in the comics, we could see all these different versions of him show up in regards to their powers, or in regards to like what they're wanting to accomplish. So that could be cool. But Majors is an amazing actor, and so I'm happy about that. But also, we're now getting into it's not only like a galactic threat. We've got the multiverse going on, but I think we're going to get into a little bit of timey-wimey stuff like we did in Endgame, or possibly where maybe it's not in the same movie, but the fact that we saw him at the end of his timeline and now we're seeing something before it, possibly, or it happened after the end, is weird, and I love it. So yeah, I'm stoked. The music in this, by the way, though, just the music alone, you should check out the trailer for, though, because it is a remix, reorchestration, whatever, of Elton John's Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, and it's amazing. Just for that, I'd recommend checking it out. Yeah, we got some. So
it's not like the Pokemon trailer where it was Ed Sheeran.
No, it's.
Did you watch that?
Ed Sheeran in the in the Pokemon movie. Yeah.
Pokemon trailer. He did like the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet trailer that just came out a couple days ago.
No.
Is Ed Sheeran singing for like 2 minutes of like just like a bunch of non-new stuff for the Pokemon game. Like, I'm still kind of interested. I'm not buying this game because they decided to not do Arceus combat until I see some things where it's like, all right, even though it's not Arceus, it's amazing. I need somebody to be like, it's not more of the same. But yeah, Ed Sheeran. I was like, you guys remember like Ed Sheeran's The Kiss of Death? Did you not see that Game of Thrones episode? Like,
oof.
That's when you know the shark. Watch him be in it. So then a whole bunch of jokes started coming out. Like, instead of facing like Red at the end of the game, you're facing like Ed Sheeran's actually the final trainer.
Oh, I agree with you on the Arceus combat, but that's hilarious. Now immediately I'm like, someone needs to mod the Pokemon game for one of the Pokemon games to have Ed Sheeran as a trainer.
I guarantee it's gonna happen now.
It's yeah, that'd be amazing. Yeah, dude. I saw you put some Nintendo notes on here. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to throw in some sauces in here.
This literally just like news that came out today. So like, they got Miyamoto. Not to name drop, but Miyamoto was doing some talking, and I think it was actually like a part of like a shareholder meeting or something, but obviously shareholder meetings are all public, and that's kind of how that goes. So, but he was talking about like kind of like the future of Nintendo, and one thing that he said, which was, it starts out as a positive thing to hear. He goes that that backwards compatibility is easier than it's ever been. Things that I want to hear. Things that I want to hear. Backwards compatibility is easier than it's ever been. But then he like goes on to say that what's the thing? Nintendo's strength is in creating new video game experiences. So when we release new hardware in the future, we like to showcase unique video games that could not be created with pre-existing hardware. I don't know about you, but that reads to me like, are you considering, do you have the audacity to not make whatever you're making next be Switch back compatible? If you even get close to daring to not make your console backwards compatible with the only console that's ever put up a fight against PS2 for the best-selling console of all time, if you do that, of course we will still buy the console because we're idiots, and Zelda comes out on that console, and that means I am a slave to the system. But that would be the biggest mistake ever. I don't know about you, so just on that wall alone, there's 20 Switch physical games. On top of the, I don't know, 30 or 40 digital ones that I own, nothing pales in comparison to my PlayStation library.
Of course.
You know, my PlayStation library is probably 4 times larger than that at this point. It's been years of collecting and so on, but there are people who, you know, have 1 terabyte SD cards in their Switch packed with stuff. The sales on that thing are, you know, ridiculous. The eShop is a porter's dream in terms of like all the games that people have brought to the Switch, because it is a fantastic console, albeit now getting more and more archaic as time goes on in terms of its horsepower. But it's just, I know he didn't say that, and we're like putting words in his mouth, but it was the fact that I like read that right before the show. I was just like, are you kidding, dude? Like, are you trying to not acknowledge that you also have one of the greatest libraries of all time that you wouldn't want to keep bringing forward? You already do it really badly with Switch Online, but
no, I think what he's saying is that it will be. I think he's saying that we're going to have forwards compatibility, some backwards compatibility, but they're still going to, whatever the next, not the next Zelda, because the next Zelda is on Switch, but whatever comes out after that, because they will want to gravitate around that or some other type of title. I'd say Nintendo's not as bad as others when it comes to trying to get those killer apps. But yeah, there's going to be a new Zelda and there's going to be a new Mario. And that may not go on the Switch. But at the same time, is that a bad thing? Is that a bad thing? Or would you rather be in an Xbox Series S situation where the next Nintendo console is held back because they're like, we got to have them on both consoles?
No, I don't care about that. No, yeah. I just need my Switch library. Like, I need every library that I have. I've started buying some stuff on Xbox. I don't have a lot, but all these old things, because back compat is a thing. I just said, I bought Beyond Good and Evil because that's not available anywhere else. It's only available on Xbox right now. I have a couple of other ones on the list that were Xbox 360 games that I missed. There's some RPGs out there. There was a couple, like, Xbox tried to do a JRPG, and apparently it was really good. They just never went back to it again. I can't remember the name of it right now, but I put it on my list again.
Wasn't Lost Odyssey, because Lost Odyssey
that's one of them. That's one of them.
Yeah.
And then there's one of them.
It's a gem that like not many people checked out. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that's one of them that I put, and then there's one about like a blue dragon or something like that. I'm probably getting that wrong, but 2 RPGs that, again, that was like when 360 wasn't getting into it. I bought Final Fantasy 13 on Xbox. I bought 13.2. I'm waiting on a good deal on 13.3 to buy, although it's currently on Game Pass, but I want to own that. I have a little personal thing of I want to own all the Final Fantasy games physically right now.
That'd be cool.
But I also just I will buy it digitally too if they drop the price, because I also don't like putting discs in the system. I'm just doing weird little random collection things. But
yeah,
I bought a lot of these Switch games. I have a lot of first party games that I like. I have some other just random classics in there, but that kind of stuff needs to move forward. Everything at this point, I think that's where you can be really proud of Microsoft. They drew the line in the sand, like, okay, we're going to do this. And then
that's what I meant about like
Sony
forwards compatibility, because like Xbox like talked about that, where they're like, from here on, what you're buying, you are going to take to your next one. So like that's why they were talking about it as a forwards as opposed to back, because it will be backwards compatible, but they're talking about future proofing it. And I hope that Nintendo will do that. But I also know that Nintendo knows they're going to make money if they keep re-releasing a game. So I know they're having that decision of, well, if we do that, that means that we won't be able to repackage the game and sell it again.
I won't be able to sell you Breath of the Wild at 4K 60.
Or Ocarina for the 8th time.
I mean, at this point, they're not even selling Ocarina, so good for them. But they're doing it the streaming way, which is the worst ever. Switch Online is awful. I hate it. I have it, but I joined a family membership to make it cheaper. That's what I suggest everybody do. So that if you want to do the whole thing, like, because it's like $50, but you can split that into a Nintendo family. I'm in actually Robert's little fam. That makes it cheaper.
Yeah.
But we have to have that now. You have people that are just, gaming is bigger than ever. We're at a really awesome spot in gaming. We need to keep doing that. And I know people are also releasing like PS5 versions of their PS4 games and whatever, and that's fine, but I also don't have to buy that because I have it on PS4 sometimes. Maybe sometimes I want to. But like Persona 5 Royal just got a PS5 port along with Switch, released on Switch finally, but I have the PS4 game. I'm not going to buy PS5. Like, I'm not going to buy Royal. Again, I already own that.
Yeah. Well, like, if
I'm not going to buy The Last of Us Part 1.
I am tempted because it does look really good.
Oh, if it was under $30, I have it on the deal for I have it on Deku for under 30, but I need it to be the price because I'm still mad that they didn't give me the upgrade like they did with Uncharted 4. I paid the Uncharted 4 upgrade.
Yep, me too.
I have Uncharted 4, and they made a PS5 version. They just said $10. I was like, yeah, you ported it over and gave me 60 frames Uncharted 4. Here's $10.
That's $10. Yeah, that's for $10.
Yeah,
I'm in the same boat because
which is not 70.
I have it on my list too for like I think 30 is a good deal for that because it looks so good. Bloodborne remaster when that eventually has to come out.
And that's a worthy one. That's a worthy one because it was so long ago. That's so long ago.
Yeah.
And needed it versus 3 releases of The Last of Us. But like Bloodborne honestly, they really just need to go in and flip the switch. That's really all you would need to do. The game still looks great. It holds up whenever you're looking at it. And they literally just need to switch. I know that there's a thing because people have done it, but like you just click it on and let it be uncapped frame rate. That's really what it comes. Just let it be uncapped.
Yeah. I mean, I know on PC that's where like I've been tempted to like get it on PC for that reason because people are doing that for Bloodborne on PC. Like I'm tempted to do that because I'm sure the game is amazing just with that tweak. That's all I need. I'd pay $10 for that. I'd pay $10 for double the frames. How much would you pay for more Halo Infinite?
I mean, luckily we don't ever have to pay anything ever again. Yeah. And I even bought the game because I did enjoy the campaign and I enjoyed the launch, and so I had a good time with Halo. And the thing is that 343 sucks. This is the studio that was made to make Halo, and they do it not great. They do it fine, but this is Halo, and Halo should be dope. And their thing is that they're like thanking people for being patient, but if you like look at the player counts on Halo, people aren't patient. There's a lot of people not playing this game anymore. You know, they were originally supposed to have couch co-op. They were like, nope, can't do it. Sorry, we promised it, and then we're gonna tell you 6 months after that we launch the game. Sorry, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
They didn't launch with Forge mode, which is like the mode you need in this case. I don't know enough about Forge mode and how it's used, but from what I've heard and read is that that's where the player supported content really comes in. People make their own modes. It reminded me, I don't know if you used to play like Warcraft 3 and StarCraft back in the day. Did you ever play that?
Yeah.
All the mods that people would make that made game modes that you could go in and then download and then play on Battle.net.
Yeah.
Like random weird stuff that you could do.
Terrible,
but there were some dope ones. Like I remember a Warcraft 3 mod that was like insane. It was just like there was like classes that got introduced into it. It was crazy. But that's what Forge mode apparently is. Like they make modes, and sometimes those modes get into the games. And I know Bethesda, your favorite people, like they're good at that. Like that's what the fan modding community really supports and bolsters those games. That's what keeps a game like Skyrim going for so long. Not just because everybody loves Skyrim, but because there's a lot of additional content that you can do that remakes the game and changes the game and makes it new again, and they didn't release with that. And I don't even know if it's out now, to be honest with you. I deleted it from my system. I was like, I might come back when you do Halo BR, because I had a really good time playing. It's just, it got old. I was playing like the same like 5 maps, and there wasn't any new seasons. The battle pass was terrible. I was like unlocking a singular skin for a shoulder pad or something like that. It was just, you can't do this to me. I understand you made a free-to-play game, but no. So when they release finally their BR, I'll come back. But they're saying like, thanks for being patient, and we're gonna do better. And I was like, you've been saying you're gonna do better forever. when is Xbox going to fire you? That's what I really want to know, is when is Microsoft willing to be like, no,
at some point, at some point. I mean, the disaster of Halo Infinite, the delay and then half launch of Halo Infinite, because they half launched the game and they're like, we're going to give you more later. I admit, I don't know what else they've added to it either.
Nothing. Not really. I mean, I know they've done some things, but not really.
Little tiny things, nothing big. Which actually I didn't put it in our notes, but I should have. The Resident Evil Village DLC. That's getting pretty good reviews. We did have to wait for that. I don't like that we had to wait for it, but at the same time, if you're giving me DLC, I also don't like if it's like, oh, the game comes out and DLC is immediately available. I'm like, why didn't you just make that part of the game? So here they were like, we finished the game, now we're going to go work on the DLC, or we're still working on the DLC. So I appreciate, like, I waited because they weren't repackaged or having me pay a premium to unlock the rest of the content. So I'm going to go play that. I know Resident Evil's not like, I can slightly spoil stuff in yours. You're playing Ethan Winter's daughter in one of the DLC for this. There's 3 parts of the DLC, but the story part, you actually get to play his daughter, because his daughter is like an infant in Resident Evil Village, and captured, but she's not really human. She's part human, part something else. But you get to play her in this DLC, so I think that's cool. So we get to revisit some areas, slightly different, but with a different character. So I'm gonna play it. It's got some, I think it's not Mercenaries mode, something. That's a multiplayer. I'll probably check that out a little bit, but I'm pretty bad at those. But I'll definitely, I'm gonna go play that. That's where, I mean, like, if you're continue to give me content, like, I appreciate if it's good content. Like, I understand waiting, but Halo Infinite half launched. Like, it's still not a full game, and thankfully we have Game Pass Ultimate, so we don't have to pay for it.
Well, and the multiplayer is free to play, and the only way that free to play games survive is with support and content and
seasons,
things that are happening, like seasons that don't take forever. Like, I think they went like 2 or 3 months between a season, which was wild. So, you know, with Resident Evil, like, yeah, you had to wait for a DLC with the game that you enjoyed playing 8, right? Like, you got a full gaming experience.
I played it twice, like, and considering playing it again. Like, it's good. It's not too long. It's a good gaming experience. I gotta go get to some good stuff.
Some Andor and some God of War. The God of War is probably going to be the next, depending on how long it takes. I've heard it's 30 hours, and so it really depends on how many late nights I'm doing, and if I end up doing some stuff on here on like the mornings with the kid, because I saw somebody at work saying like they were excited to play it with their 60-year-old. I was like, no, that's I'm not telling anybody how to parent, but I didn't say that to him. I said that that's too much for my 3-year-old. Like, I don't want him experiencing that level of violence right now. I personally know that I experienced it too young. I saw my first rated R movie at 5, and while I am not judging my dad for letting it happen or anything like that, but like, I can tell you that it did change the course of the way that I think about things and was exposed to things, and I'm trying not to do that. So he doesn't actually see me play video games a lot because I have a habit of not playing anything below
Not
teen.
quite appropriate.
And I probably need to get more into that.
Yeah.
You know, I maybe if I get maybe if I see a sale on Mario Rabbids, that'll be something, because I think that's like 10, and I think that might be a line that I'm willing to do. I did buy like Lego Harry Potter, like all 7 years.
That'll
I think
work.
was like $5.
Yeah.
And so, from what I remember, and I haven't played a Lego game in a while. I don't know if you played like some of it.
I played those.
Does it yank? Like if I move forward, can I pull them to me?
I don't think it yanks. I don't remember offhand. I don't think it yanks you in that direction. They have to actually come over to you. I think but I'm trying to remember which Lego game. One of the Lego games, if you keep going, they could die off screen and then respawn, but it doesn't yank. No.
Okay.
Not that I remember.
That could work, because I have enough controllers for that, so where I can move on. Because you know me, like I would have a hard time. I'm still playing a video game. I have a hard time being like, oh, it's okay. We'll just sit here and do it. It's not just like being impatient, but I would just need to be like, come on, let's go.
All right,
and, yeah,
this way,
there's been times where I'm like, all right, go this way with the stick, and he's just like, because he likes,
yeah. He's gonna have to jump. Not quite there yet, but he'll get there. Yeah. Well, I hope you guys liked this week's show. I hope you enjoyed us being back. We'll give you more gaming news in a couple weeks, as we'll be doing this every other week or so. So we'll see you guys soon. Enjoy those games. Get ready for that Thanksgiving turkey or ham or whatever you like. And we'll see you next time.
Because it's not Christmas season yet.
Not yet.